So if I give you, let's have a look at, oh, actually, okay, I'm going to give you something like this. Let's do this one first. Okay, this is definitely something they could give you. I am not asking you to come up with an algebraic rule. I'm asking you to figure out what happens. How do you get from one to another? So don't yell it out if you figure it out. Give everyone a chance. How am I getting from this to this? Must be the same way I get from this to this and this to this. So have a brief think, and then I'll get some theories. So let everyone have a chance to think about it. So I'm not asking for an algebraic rule. I'm just asking you to work out a recursive rule. How do I get from one thing to the next? It'll be the same, but it won't work as an algebraic rule. All right, does someone have a theory? Did you have an idea, Kimberly? That's exactly it. So you're doubling it. So you're timesing 2, plusing 1. But that's what's called a recursive rule because you must know the previous term to get the next one. So what we want to do is be able to write this as a recursive rule, which we've not really practiced. So u of n plus 1, which is the next term, is 2 times the previous, whoops, that should be an n, 2 times the previous term, right, plus 1. So the next term is 2 lots of whatever the term you have is and add 1. This is how we would write that. Does that make sense? Okay, so, but there's also a couple of pieces of information you would need to give in this case. So if you were going to then give this as a rule, if I did not give you this and I gave you this as a rule, would you be able to write this sequence out? Why not? Right, where do you start? So you must also say that the first term is 6. Are there any restrictions on n? In this case, there is. What are the restrictions on n? It's easier than you think. It's all positive numbers, right? So n must be greater than or equal to 1. We're starting at 1. You can't have 0, -1, -2, right? So usually this will be your set of restrictions, but sometimes they might ask you to start from the 5th term or something like that, and then you need to know that. They won't do that often, but this is normally your n restriction, but you must have a first term or any term, frankly, to be able to get this. So what if I said, okay, let's say, let's just do a completely different one. If I said u of n is u of n, oh, sorry, u of n plus 1 is the previous term minus 4, and I said that the 5th term is 22. What's the first term? Okay, so what I need to do is get back to term number 1. So what's the 4th term? 26. What's the 3rd term? 30. What's the 2nd term? 34. And now I can find out that the first term is 38. So if they give you something in the middle, you just work backwards, right? You know what to do for each term, and then you can end up in the place that you want. All right, what if I'm going to give you a recursive rule now? I'm going to ask you to write the first 4 terms. Okay, I want the first 4 terms. U of n plus 1 is 3 times u of n squared minus 9. Exactly. So the first term is 2 and n is greater than or equal to 1. So I want the first 4 terms.
Wait, un squared or un squared?
U of n squared, right? This must be a single term. This is the previous term, right? U of n is the previous term. I'm getting a new laptop in a couple of weeks, so hopefully I won't have these problems anymore. All right, so the first term is obviously 2. We already said that. You already got given that. So then we do 3 times 2 squared minus 9. 3 times 2 squared is what? 3 times 2 squared is 12 minus 9 is 3. So then we have 3 times 3 squared minus 9, 18. Why does it do that? So annoying. 3 times 4 squared. Oh my gosh, what have I done? I've done the dumbest thing in the world. Yep. This is the dumbest thing in the world. Oh, wait, why am I erasing that one? That was really stupid. That one was fine. 3 squared minus 9 is 18. Then 3 times 18 squared minus 9 is 963. All right, so this is again our recursive rule. You're not being asked to find algebraic things out of that. All right, I'm going to give you a new timetable.